Hi. So for this week, for OT, I want 3 specific skills to be targeted, okay? So the first one that we're going to target is sorting our colors. So find 2 containers. I'm going to use the same containers I used the other day in my container video, and just find 2 different containers. And then what you need is objects that have 2 different colors. So I'm going to use those cut up straw pieces that I had before, which were and I'm going to use the blue and the green. But if you don't have the straws, you can use pom-poms, or if you have like colored sponges, you could cut up 2 different colored sponges into tiny pieces, whatever you have that you can find that have 2 colors. Okay, and then we're going to put them in the middle of their body. I'm going to try to aim this down a little bit here. So it's in the middle, in midline. And then the containers are going to go out to the sides, because what we want them to do is cross that midline to put the objects in the container, okay? So they're going to pick up, let's say we're going to put all the blue ones in this container and all the green ones in this container. So I'm going to have them go through and then just pick them up and say, where does that one go? It goes in the green container. Where does the blue one go? It goes in the blue container. And they're just going to sort the colors, putting them into the containers which they go. You might have to remind them on each step to look at the color. Where are the other colors that are the same? We're putting them in and we're sorting them. So 2 containers, preferably farther out to the side, so at least they have to really reach across that center of their body, which helps activate both sides of the hemispheres of the brain. And then we're going to put them in the containers, okay? So that's activity number 1 that I want to be done this week, where they're really going to focus on sorting 2 different colors, okay? And preferably primary colors, because that's what they're working on identifying, okay? Then what we're also going to work on is stringing. So if you have a shoelace, shoelaces are great because they already have that hard tip for the end. If you don't have a shoelace, you can just get a piece of yarn and a piece of tape. Take your tape and put it on the tip of the yarn. So you're basically making that hard ended piece, which makes it easier to go through. So you're going to have to kind of do this for your child to make it nice and tight. So either way, if you have a shoelace, that's great. If you don't have a shoelace, that's okay. Just find a piece of string and you can do the same thing. Now, if you have beads, that's great. You can use the beads, but also those cut up pieces of straw that you used are perfect. So again, they're going to take it and we're going to remind them that they have to put it in and then pull it through. So we want both hands to have a job. So one hand is going to be putting it in the hole. So find the hole. And that's usually the cue I give them, is find the hole. They put it in the hole. And then I said, and pull. And we pull it along the line. Okay? Again, same thing with the string. We can do the same thing. We're going to find the hole and put it in and pull it through. So we're going to have your child do that, and we want them to string. This is great to use both sides of their body, to incorporate both hands working together. And it's just a lot of eye-hand coordination and fine motor precision. So stringing beads is great. They can make a beautiful necklace for you. And then you can actually wear it, and that would make them feel really good. Okay, so that is the second activity I want to be worked on this week for OT. And the last one is going to be pre-writing. So if you have a dry erase board, that's great. If you don't, paper and crayons is perfectly fine. So right now what we're working on is just basic line imitation. So kids like to scribble, and scribbling's great because it still is working on, them understanding the concept of pre-writing. But we want them to start following some directions and starting to coordinate their hands to produce lines. This is going to be our precursor to being able to write our letters and draw shapes and pictures. So the first one we're going to do is just the line down. So we always want to start at the top, and we just want to go wee, and then do it again. Start at the top and go wee, and then see if they can do it. Start at the top and give them that verbal, that wee, okay? And see if they can do that. After you've done the vertical line, because the vertical line tends to be the first line that children can produce. The next one we're going to do is the horizontal line. That one's a little bit harder because they have to kind of cross the center of their body. So we're going to go zip. And we do want to start from left to right, just like we write, okay? So start at the left side and go across and go zip and make that sound so that when it's their turn, because you're imitating or showing them or modeling, then they're going to try and you're going to say that same sound, zip, okay? So once they are worked on their horizontal and vertical lines, we can also start to work on circles. Now, a lot of kids can do that circular scribble and you'll see them kind of go like this, but we actually want a starting spot and a stopping spot. So we want to start at the top and go around, stop. Sorry, it's hard to do upside down. And start at the top and go around, stop. Okay, so these are the things I really kind of want you to focus on is the vertical line, and that was wee, the horizontal line, zip, and the circle, which we're going to go around, stop. Okay, so those are kind of our verbal cues. That is how we're demonstrating it. Now, if you make a lot of progress over the next week or so and you're like, okay, they're starting to really do those lines, well, then we can start doing things with those lines. So the first thing we can work on is making a cross, which combines the vertical and the horizontal line. So we're going to do the wee, and then we're going to do the zip, and see if they can do that, okay? Don't worry if you don't get here. It's really important that they just start to imitate some basic lines, okay? And with the circle, you can always go from the top, go around, stop, and then see if they can add some eyes and a nose and a mouth. And that'll be the beginnings of our draw person. So that's your instructions for this week. I hope you have fun. Remember, it's sorting 2 colors, stringing, and doing our basic lines. Have a great week. See you soon. Bye.